to the last segment of Pollinator Live. My name is Tamberly Conway, and I work for the U.S. Forest Service as a Conservation Education Coordinator. I'll be your host for this final segment of Pollinator Live. Now, if you're just joining us, we had a wonderful tour of the Washington Youth Garden here at our National Arboretum in Washington, D.C. We learned about garden design from our Forest Service and Washington Youth Garden experts. We also learned about the importance of native bees and honeybees. Next, our Forest Service entomologists and students went out on a wonderful bug safari to find out some of those other pollinators. Also, a Forest Service biologist shared an explanation and video of a really cool video about pollinating bats. Now, you want to keep buzzing in with your questions throughout the segment to the email address on your screen, and we'll answer as many of those questions as possible about all of the segments. Remember, 1 out of every 3 bites of food that we take needs a pollinator to help. Here now is Chef Carla Hall, a well-known chef and finalist in the Top Chef Cooking Challenge. And she's here to show us how to cook up some of those pollinator gifts from the garden. Now, Chef Carla, I know that you really love cooking with fresh ingredients. So can you tell us a little bit about that and what you'll be making today?
So today I'm going to be making a French toast with apple and butternut squash compote. And it sounds so much like fall. And when you think about the snow, actually, we're not in snow yet, you think about all the things that people run to the grocery store to get when it's snowing: milk, bread, eggs, and toilet paper. Okay, we're not using the latter,
Okay.
But so that's what we're gonna make.
Excellent. And sounds delicious. I know most kids love French toast. Do you guys love French toast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And so what are some of the ingredients? Or apple, squash, and those are pollinated items, correct?
Yes, exactly right. We have apple juice. We're also going to make a syrup, and when we finish it, we'll put a little,
No, you're...
I think we have to finish this.
No.
Oh, keep going? Okay. And we're going to take a little bit of the honey and drizzle on top right at the end.
Liquid gold.
Liquid gold.
Yeah, I love it. That sounds wonderful. All right, and there are a number of things that we can do to make nutritious and healthy choices when we're looking at food. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, the thing is, when you're thinking about, you have fresh produce, and it's really nice to use local, sustainable, because it doesn't have to travel that far. So that your produce can actually stay on the vine really long. They have the vitamins as opposed to being picked before they're really ripe and then traveling. So we think about that. And then the less that you do with your food, the better, because all of those nutrients stay in the food. So obviously, if you can eat it raw, you get more nutrients. But a quick saute, a boil or a blanch. Today we're going to do a quick saute, and the last on that list, which you really don't want to do, is fry.
Because that takes out quite a bit of the nutrients. You're overcooking it essentially.
Exactly, unless it's a really quick fry.
Okay. Well, great. Well, let's look and see what all we have going on here.
Well, I have 2 wonderful helpers,
Yes.
Reginald, and because we're getting all of this great water from nature, I want you to dry that bowl out, and you're going to crack those eggs.
Okay.
Awesome. And while you do that, I'm going to have you, Jeremiah, kind of peel these potatoes. You're just going to peel here, just like that, and put that in there.
So do you shop at your local farmer's market?
I do. I shop at my local farmer's market, and that's where I get my inspiration. And so recently, you know, of course you're seeing apples and you're seeing pears and the last bit of tomatoes, the last bit of peppers, some eggplant. And as you can see, Tammy, we're putting our eggshells in here for the compost and any of this peel from the sweet potato. So I love going to the farmer's market, and I love the seasons. You know, unfortunately, or fortunately, we're not in California where there are no seasons. So it's great because once it gets cold, you start craving those warm foods. And
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Now, I know a lot of people think that cooking is time-consuming or difficult, and, you know, would you consider that to be true?
If you want to spend 4 hours making something, you can. But you can also make something in 20 minutes. And for instance, this French toast, you can do everything the night before, put it into a pan, and then cook it up the next morning. And the prep the night before, maybe 20 minutes, and then the next morning, 5.
Okay, so it's all about time management, and it also looks like you have to be really creative and kind of get excited in the kitchen.
Exactly, and that's what makes it fun. And the thing about this is we're eating our colors. So we have
it's
orange,
beautiful.
we've got a little bit of yellow, we have all of these beautiful colors here. That's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, take that whisk and you're gonna whisk that up.
So how did you become interested in being a chef?
Well, I was an accountant at first, and nothing against accounting, but it wasn't my passion, and so I was looking for the next best thing. And I started actually making food for my sister, and I was modeling, and contrary to popular belief, models do eat. So we used to have this big breakfast every Sunday, and so I started buying cookbooks. And that's how I started cooking, and then I started a lunch delivery service as a fluke.
Well, I think it's really interesting that you talk about your passion and applying that to your life. And I think that's one of the most wonderful things that you can do and think about doing in your future. As
No,
the
it's true,
students
and I'm
out
sure
there.
you enjoy the forest and you enjoy being
Love it.
outside.
Love it.
You know, because you don't work. Once you're doing something that you love, you never work another day in your life.
Exactly. That is
Yeah.
that's a great point. All right, and so
Perfect.
so you got started cooking in that way, and what is next? So this it looks like some tasty treats that
Yeah.
you're whipping up.
So what we have here are the eggs that we're doing for French toast. And generally you think of French toast, you think of eggs and milk. But what we're going to do differently, we have fresh sweet potatoes, which are being peeled here, beautiful. Then you take those and you mash them up. So we have some already mashed. So Jeremiah, can you take some of these potatoes here? I just want to show those. We'll take these potatoes that are mashed and put into Reginald's bowl.
There you go. Just spoon that in.
Huge, big helpings, yeah.
Yum.
And another big plop.
Blop.
Awesome.
Okay.
Another plop. And then you just mix that up, Reginald.
That's good.
That's perfect.
Okay.
And I'm going to put some vanilla in there. And I'm going to put a little bit of cinnamon and some of this honey granules because the bees would love it. And a little bit of organic sugar. Awesome.
So what would be a way that you could suggest that kids get started cooking?
I think just get them involved. The thing is, you know, they're helping here. Get them involved in easy steps so they feel that they are making an accomplishment as opposed to something that's really hard. I mean, get small knives, and there's some knives that they could use that aren't really sharp that they can cut, you know, like lettuce and things like that. The thing is, if you get them involved and they understand where their food is coming from, like you start from a raw product and they actually see the process. Like here, they get to see the garden and you pick it, you see it grow, you pick it, and then here it's being cooked. So I think that's the thing, so they can actually see the train.
Yeah, it makes it really special. And then maybe even cooking with the family.
Exactly.
I can see how that's like a bonding
It's a
time.
bonding. It's a bonding, and instead of just sitting at the table and not really understanding the work that went into making your food.
So do you guys like to cook?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, Jeremiah, you're going to pour that milk into Reginald. Reginald, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
And there's our bread.
So yeah, so here we have our basic mixture, and all we did was add sweet potatoes to it, a little bit of sugar, some vanilla, boom, that's it. And we're going to dunk our bread in that and just have it on a sheet pan. And by the magic of television, I have some here.
Ta-da.
Ta-da!
Delicious.
And,
nutritious.
Yes. I'm going to have Reginald also dunk some of the bread. Would you like to do that? I mean, Jeremiah. Jeremiah, you're just whisking away.
And
Okay.
I know that we mentioned 1 out of every 3 bites of food that we're eating is as the direct result
Yeah,
of an
that's
animal
already done.
pollinator. So you could kind of go like 1 bite, 2 bite, pollinator.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, that's perfect, Reginald. So you're going to dunk
Okay.
the bread in there, and then you're going to take it out and put it on there. And I'm going to make
Okay,
more
so
pieces.
dunk,
Dunk, dunk.
get your fingers dirty.
Yeah, you
okay.
have to touch the food and just
Yeah,
it's fun, yeah.
It's okay. It has all kinds of textures and
So you're going to just go in there and rescue it. See how it's floating in there? You're going to rescue that
Rescue the
bread and put
bread.
it in here.
there you go. Spin it around. Make it drink up all of the yummy juices.
So if you did this, you guys, if you did this the night before and then you put it in your sheet pan and just wrap it up and put it in your refrigerator, the next morning when you get ready to cook it, it's going to balloon like donuts. Yum.
We love donuts too, I'm sure.
Now, the other thing, I'm excited because I love food. You can do this savory. And instead of having French toast in the morning, you can do a savory French toast for dinner.
So what would that include?
So instead of the sugar, you may want to use curry
Ooh.
in your apples and your butternut squash. And then you can serve it with chicken or tofu, and it can just be a totally savory dish and have vegetables on the side.
Again, very creative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's kind of fun to just open up the refrigerator and see what you have in there and kind of throw it all together.
And that's why it's really great to go to the market, because when you go to the market, you don't dictate to the farmers what they have. You basically use what's there.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
And did you make an apple syrup today?
I did. I'm going to make an apple syrup. I'm going to saute some apples, and then I'm going to add the apple juice, and that actually will make a syrup in with our apples.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
That sounds delicious. And it sounds way better than the ones that we might purchase in the store.
So here we have a fire,
Yeah, we do.
but we're going to get rid of our fire. Okay, so we're cooking up our apples, and I'm going to add just a little bit of lemon juice
What would that be for?
for the acid. And I also put a little bit of lemon juice on the apples so they don't turn brown.
Okay.
And
So you can do that when it's in a bowl and just put, okay, that's
exactly.
the trick.
Yeah, that's the trick. So hand me that sugar there. I'm going to put a little bit of sugar here. And I don't need to put that much sugar in here because we're going to do the apple juice. The apple. So.
And that's organic apple juice, you said?
Yep, it's organic apple juice.
That smells delicious.
Don't mind the smoke because we like that.
Yeah.
And so we have our butternut squash, which we have
That's
here all diced up.
beautiful.
And
Yeah.
grab me that bowl there. We'll put that in here. That's already
one?
cooked. Yep.
Okay.
So we have that in here.
Is your stomach growling? Do you want to eat this?
Are you guys hungry? Okay. As I fall over. Now, if you can just, I have this already open. Let's pour this in here.
Did you want?
And that's going to make our syrup. So the thing is, we have, let me turn this down.
It's going crazy.
So what we're going to do is actually, instead of adding water to our butternut squash, we're going to add this apple juice, and that's going to make our syrup. And we also are finishing cooking the vegetables.
And that's kind of just simmering at this point.
Yeah.
And, okay.
And since we're at the garden, we have the benefit of all of the fresh herbs that are in the garden, right?
Yes.
So we're going to drop some thyme.
Oh, I would have never.
Doink, doink. Yes, we like that. Do you guys like herbs? Here, smell these.
That smells so yummy.
Doesn't it smell good?
Yeah.
So we're going to let that cook down.
Okay.
And then in this pan, I'm going to start making our French toast.
And we've got 1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay, great. So come on, guys, let's make our French toast.
Yeah,
It's about
move on
time to
down.
eat. Let's bring our sheet pan down here.
With the bee and all.
Yeah, with the bee, because this is all for them. All right. Great. Thank you. So we're just going to put this right
I'm
in
going
the
to get our
pan.
honey ready.
Yes, let's
And
get our honey ready.
also, we have our syrup.
Okay, perfect. We're just going to make these two, and then we'll
Okay.
put that, and then we'll have our plate. So you'll see how fast this is.
Where's our plate? Here, you know.
Here's
where
our
it's
plate. And can you dry our little plate off? It's right here. Awesome. See how easy this is, Reginald? So you just cook it on all sides.
at. Do you want to drizzle the honey when it's ready? Do you like honey? Here, let's see.
I love honey. I love honey actually more than I love syrup.
Me too. Yeah, I have to say.
I do.
Although I haven't tried your apple syrup yet, so I can't say that's the case.
All right, we are just about there.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, you keep that from getting wet. You are the keeper of the plate, okay?
Come back then.
Okay, so here we go. So plates out. We're going to put our beautiful pieces of toast here on the plate.
And we need a hootie hoo.
I know, a hootie.
Hootie hoo. All right.
All right, so here we
That
go.
must have been an owl call.
Oh!
Yes. Look, check it out. It's Woodsy Owl.
Woodsy! Hootie!
Oh. Do y'all know Woodsy Owl? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hey, Woodsy, how are you doing today? So, hey, what's Woodsy Owl's message?
Woodsy Owl says, give a hoot, don't pollute.
Yeah. And what else does Woodsy say? Do you know?
Lend a hand, care for the land.
Absolutely. Now, what are some things that we can do to lend a hand and care for the land?
We could plant a tree. We can plant a garden.
Absolutely. We can do all of that. What are some other things that Woodsy Owl says?
We can help Woodsy Owl with the 4 R's. Recycle, reuse, reduce, and rock.
Oh, yeah, we can. And what's Woodsy up to? He's coming over here. What else can we do?
We can make compost.
What else are you doing there by making compost?
We're using Woodley's R for rock.
Yeah. And are you reusing?
No, we're reducing.
You're reducing.
By putting less waste in the landfills, and we're creating healthy dirt.
I believe it. So Woodsy's here today to share his composting message with us all. And also, he's trying to challenge all of you, all of our schools out there, to do it too. Now, compost needs several things to be successful. Number one, we need green. So we need all this good stuff, right? That's the green. Now, we need brown too. So that would be our leaves, okay? And next, we need water. Where's your bucket? Yep, we need that bucket and a little bit of water. So let's throw some of that water in there. There we go, okay. And the last thing, it needs air, and that's where our worms come in. Cool, yeah, they help to aerate the soil. So those worms can be very helpful in breaking that down. Also, you want to mix all of the ingredients with a big wooden spoon, very gently, and that's going to help our compost to break down. Now, we want to remember, don't add meat or dairy products or any type of diseased plants or any poisonous plants that you might get out of your garden or your yard. And also, don't add any animal waste, right, Woodsy? That's right. And also, remember, there's the safety bee coming in. I wonder what that message means. That means we need to be safe. Whenever we're making compost, always work with your parents and your teachers to make sure you're being safe with your compost. And after about 6 weeks, what are we gonna get? Well, we're gonna get the good stuff. What you got there?
Compost.
Compost. It's compost time. Yeah. All right. Now, if you want to find out more about Woodsy Owl and this composting activity and other cool activities about conserving and being careful with the environment, you can go to the web address on your screen and see the Woodsy Owl's Pollinator website under Teacher Resources, and that's where you're going to find Woodsy and other really incredible opportunities to conserve. Now, there's someone special here, and her name is Love the Poet, and she knows how much fun it is to learn through poetry, dance, and music. And she's here to share Woodsy Owl's Rubbish Rot Rap. Take it!
Woodsy in the house with an owl rap about taking some garbage off the mat. Trash from your breakfast yesterday can turn into plan for the Woodsy way. The Woodsy way, yo, the Woodsy way. It's the rubbish rot, it's the rubbish rot. Y'all think it's garbage, but it's not. It's the rubbish rot, it's the rubbish rot. Y'all think it's garbage, but it's not. Eggshells, coffee ground, add some dirt. Even some earthworms wouldn't hurt. Stir it in gently with a wooden spoon while I sing more of this garbage tune.
Go in there with
It's
her.
the rubbish rot. Y'all think it's garbage, but it's not. It's the rubbish rot. It's the rubbish rot. Y'all think it's garbage, but it's not. Kids love bananas. They taste so sweet. Add their peels to our rotten treats. Pour in some water, put the bucket outside. In about 6 weeks, it's compost time.
Rubbish rock, it's a rubbish rock. Y'all think it's garbage,
But it's not. It's the rubbish rot. It's the rubbish and the muck's gone away. What's left is plant food, nature's way. The rubbish rap is about to end. Now sing it with me and my woodsy friends.
It's a rubbish rap. It's the rubbish rap. Y'all think it's garbage,
But it's not. It's the rubbish rap. It's the rubbish rap. Y'all think it's garbage, but it's not. Go Woodsy, go Woodsy, go Woodsy, go Woodsy! Woo! Let's go Woodsy! All right! Woo!
Thanks, Love the Poet,
No
and
problem.
thanks to all our Woodsy Rot Rappers. And thank you, Chef Carla, for being here with us today to share your cooking excellence. Thank you. Woo! Good job, everybody. All right. Well, now, if you want to find out more information and more resources, you can go to the Pollinator website. Also, Project Learning Tree activities can give you a lot of information about gardening and about your outdoor classrooms. And also, the importance related to soil and having a good nutrient-rich yet balanced soil. So we know that compost can help our gardens, and that gives us all these fabulous treats and delicious goodies that we get from our pollinators. Thank you. Now, we have learned about some wonderful treats that pollinators have given to us so that we can bring that back to our kitchen and help to replenish our soil as well with all of our peelings and eggshells, and that helps to replenish our soil. So it's time to take the last round of questions about healthy eating, foods, gardening, pollinators. We're bringing them all in. So we're ready to answer some questions. We want all of our wonderful experts to come on up, and we will do that. And we need our first question. Come on over. Our first question. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Our first question is about the tour of the garden for Matt or Mike. And this is from Mrs. Howard's second grade class at Armstrong Elementary in Sachets, Texas. What would be some good plants for our school garden to attract pollinators? Who wants to answer that one?
I'll take it. And actually, I'm going to take it with Chris because Chris has our notes.
Yeah, that's
Asters are always good. Rudbeckias, echinacea plants, which are, what's the common name for some echinaceas, Chris?
Purple coneflower, yep, and Rudbeckia is also called orange coneflower sometime. And distinction that you might want to think about when you're planting your garden is to decide if you want to plant native plants or not, because that might be a great idea to plant natives to attract native honeybees and native pollinators. So you want to make that distinction. And another thing is you want to have a wide diversity of plants that are flowering at different times of the season.
Another thing I would suggest is going to the USDA's plants website. You can go to that website and type in your area and what kind of plant you're looking for, and it'll give you a list of plants that are native to your area, and it's very clear. There's a map on the site that'll come up with the plant and show you exactly what states that plant grows in.
Thank y'all very much for those great answers. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, and this next one is for Woodsy Owl. Uh-oh, there's Woodsy. All right, this is from Susie Sullivan's third grade class at Christ the King School in Chicago. Well, we live in Chicago and our neighborhood has many trees over 100 years old. What composting material would be the best for the soil in order to continue to preserve them? Compost time.
Well,
do you think?
Woodsy, what do you think about that? I think that any composting material that you can get your hands on would be great. Making your own compost, as we discussed before, is relatively easy, and we would suggest you to do that first. You could purchase mushroom compost, and you can actually purchase compost tea as well. All would be helpful.
Another thing that I would recommend is if those trees are surrounded by hardscape, if there's asphalt around those trees, if there's any kind of concrete surrounding those trees, to remove as much of that as possible. One of the most important things, trees get air from their roots as well as soil, water, and nutrients. So if you can remove that kind of hardscape or break it up, that's going to contribute a lot to the health of those older trees as well as getting compost into the soil.
Thank you, thank you. Our next question is from Laura Quist's Hope Homeschool, students in Michigan. where can we find simple native bee handouts that we can distribute to our community? How about you?
Well, a quick Google search will probably work out okay. But again, there's some real basic things. Again, stick with native plants if you can. There's some plans besides what we showed you as far as building some little bamboo bundles that you could use. Also, a nice little combination, like a compromise a lot of bees will use, is if you do drill into wood and you make those kinds of nests, 5/8 of an inch is about a good compromise size. A lot of different species use that, and that's a good one to use. But again, check out your local native plant societies. They have usually good planting lists. We have already mentioned that there's good resources already available as well. And you know, again, think locally, and those are probably the best things you can do to help out your local pollinators as well. All different kinds.
Thank you, Alonso. All right, our next question comes from Carolyn Taylor at the homeschool in Stafford, Virginia. My sister and I would love to start a flower garden open to pollinators, but we have a problem with deer and squirrel. Are there any flowers or plants that seem to make these animals kind of go away that they don't like, but still let the pollinators do their thing? Yeah.
That really depends on where you live, but most county extension agents should have a list of the types of plants that are deer resistant. But one that I love, that's my favorite, is daffodils, because those grow lots of places and the deer won't touch them.
Thank you.
Once again, you could also check out your local extension, your college extension. Usually have a list of pollinator, of plants that deer will not touch.
All right, guys. Well, it's time to wrap up this segment. That's all the time we have for questions, and I don't really need that. So thank you all out there for sending in your questions, and thank you to all of our magnificent experts for being here with us today. It was fabulous. And yes, thank you to Woodsy and Carla. All right. Yeah. And the bee. All right. All right. So thank you, Chef Carla, Woodsy, and the bee for being here with us, and to all of the scientists. Also, thank you to our student cast. Y'all are magnificent today. Big round of applause. All right. And also, our webcast audience out there. We know there are thousands of you, and so we're really excited to have you here. Now, don't forget about the PollinatorLIVE Project Learning Tree Greenworks Garden Grants. That's going to be really important so you can create your garden. And for more information about that, you can go to the web address on your screen. Remember, the best thing you can do for pollinators is to establish or maintain a garden and use some of these wonderful tips that our experts have given you today. Also, teachers, remember to go in and fill out that online evaluation because your feedback is extremely important to us in helping us to improve our future programs. Again, you'll receive a gift in that we will plant one milkweed plant for monarch butterflies at a school or a people's garden. And you'll also receive a pollinator and a woodsy owl bookmark. As well, we'll enter your name into the bucket raffle where 10 teachers will be randomly selected to win a woodsy owl composting bucket and many other great prizes from the Forest Service and all of our other partners. And lastly, we thank the National Arboretum for hosting us here today and all of our amazing sponsors. Also, remember, you can watch all of these videos archived on the PollinatorLIVE website. And don't forget about Monarch Live, which came to us a couple of years ago, and those are also still archived, so you can help to continue to spread the buzz. So we want to make sure that you buzz back in April for another webcast. And it's also going to be a television broadcast from the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center in Austin, Texas. So we hope to see you then. And thanks for joining us here at the National Arboretum in Washington, D.C. This is Tamberly buzzing out from PollinatorLIVE. Oh yeah, we need to, everybody, I know.